Mr. Ross, I entreat you to attend to your niece. She has conducted herself most oddly this morning. Why are you suddenly in such a bad temper? Your fiancé's carriage will be arriving shortly. He has travelled all the way from the capital. Will you not grant him, at the very least, a brief audience? You are being most unreasonable.
Miss, may I request a private word with you? Miss, I must forego the liberty of kissing your hand, for it would be improper given our current circumstance. Do allow me to introduce myself. I am Zayne. Miss, we share the same desire. I am here to annul our engagement. You need not affect displays of disorderly conduct in hopes of giving me a negative impression. If there are no objections to annulling the engagement, we should settle the matter of compensation. I intend to hand you Morley Manor, one of my estates. Morley Manor belonged to your grandfather prior to being sold. One could say I am merely returning it to its rightful owner. You will thus be spared the inconvenience of residing in a small, dreary abode together with distant relatives. Should you be concerned about gossip following the dissolution of our engagement, my father has a cousin, Lady Herlin, who will soon be visiting the county. She enjoys considerable esteem in the capital, and the young noblewomen she takes under her wing never fail to distinguish themselves during the social season. Every year in late spring, distinguished families host balls and charity dinners. It is a time for young ladies and gentlemen to present themselves and get acquainted. It is merely a suggestion. Whether you heed it or not is up to you, miss. If you wish, I can arrange for you to meet my aunt at the manor. After our engagement has been annulled, it would be improper of us to meet as frequently. I have some matters to attend to in the capital. Once everything is settled, I doubt not that we shall meet again. But very well. A carriage for Morley Manor shall be waiting for you in 3 days' time. I trust our discussion will bring about a satisfactory resolution for the two of us.
A lady must be graceful at all times, even upon horseback. To properly ride side saddle is to display How curious. You are the second person to advise me so. The first was Zayne. Indeed. You should talk to each other some more over the coming days. You might find you have much in common. He returned just the day before yesterday. Though he may not be found too often at the manor, you are bound to see him sooner or later. Miss, the young are apt to let first impressions cloud their judgment, and fail to inquire further. For my part, I believe you will see each other differently after spending some more time together. And I have always noticed how the hand that first grabs the reins determines the course. Speaking of which, yesterday I heard the butler complain that Zayne's boots are perpetually muddied. I suspect he's been frequenting the neighbouring farm.
Do you often pry into the affairs of others? I am obliged to you for the offer, yet I fear your pony would not bear us both. Miss, you ought not to be here. Your curiosity regarding me knows no bounds. If portraits were able to talk, I fear I would have more troubling matters to worry about. This farm forms part of my property in Keratin County. I have neither the time nor the inclination to manage someone else's estate. It is only proper that I patronize our local produce. I do not generally contend on foot with one mounted on horseback. The villagers harvested them and offered them to me. To refuse would have been uncivil. If this does not suit your taste, we may dine apart. If it pleases you, you may have mine. I do not presume to dictate what others sow in their fields. You, however, do ask a great many questions, yet without ever disclosing your purpose. So I am merely your novel pastime. A most generous offer. I am to take you sightseeing, and in exchange, you are to unburden me of my harvest. You offered to give a helping hand, did you not? I had not intended that you should drink it all at once. Very well. I accept your offer. If you would avoid attracting notice, I advise picking a slimmer volume. Should curiosity prompt you, you may try it on. Pray excuse me. Do not open your eyes too hastily. Otherwise, this is what will happen. If not the monocle, perhaps it is these volumes that engage your interest. You are most ambitious to begin the study of an ancient script with a medical treatise. Here is the translation, if you wish to consult it. It is not likely to be published anytime soon. You must content yourself with the manuscript. It is but a humble compilation of my own. Should you discover any errors, pray bring them to my notice. If that is all, I shall now continue my work. I had not expected my translation to prove so very soporific. What did you dream of? Indeed. And what was to be expected hereafter? You say you knew what was to come. Why, then, did you remain still? Keep out of the rain. Should you develop a fever, infuse this powder of willow bark in water and drink it.
Mr. Zayne, we have little with which to repay your kindness. Pray accept these sweet cakes.
Very well, but do take greater care with that sickle. I shall not attend you a second time. You may say so. The subjects of my research happen to be remarkably talkative. You have. Whence arises this sudden interest? You believe acting without regard to my expenses must imply some sort of enjoyment. And you have been accompanying me on such a long journey since the break of dawn. Does it mean? More or less so, yes. It appears as though you mean to carry me off. That is quite a high recommendation. I should very much like to make his acquaintance. Perhaps I merely wish to be certain that the choices I make are indeed my own, and not just the consequences of a perceived duty. Whether it be in tending the sick, in translating old volumes, or even in the matter of our engagement at first. I have reflected upon it for some time, and I believe you ought to know. I will speak plainly. I now see you in a different light. Yet, I do not regret annulling our engagement. You are clever, witty, and exceedingly fair. Such qualities as these might win a heart with uncommon expedition. You possess a vision and a path manifestly different from those who see marriage as the main purpose of this earthly life. It is meet that you choose the right person for yourself, rather than letting another determine what is best for you. I know because I saw how your eyes lit up when you spoke of that physician. That is why your future ought not to be bound by an engagement made for you beforehand. I cannot answer that with certainty, miss. Yet I do attempt to use my discernment.
I haven't seen you in a while. I thought everything would be going swimmingly between you two, yet it seems not to be the case. Pray leave this matter to me, miss. The social season is drawing near in the capital. If you are to make your debut at the ball, you must have a partner with whom to practice.
I may, depending on who happens to be my partner. One may always plead an aversion to dancing as a polite refusal to an unwelcome invitation. They say that practice makes perfect. To refuse demands practice as well. Come, try declining my invitation to dance. If you do not practice beforehand, then at the ball. Lady Harlan informed me that you are looking forward to the ball that will be held in the capital, and that you've been preparing rather earnestly. Were I to say no, would you indeed give it up? Is that all you seek in a lifetime companion? As soon as you had received my portrait, you expressed a wish to break off our engagement. May I ask why? Did you find my appearance disagreeable? I must return several volumes to the public library. We must part here. Then he must secure a carriage of his own.
May I have the honor of standing up with you for the first dance this evening, miss?
Were another gentleman to ask you, would your answer be any different? A matter of greater consequence detained me. Miss, this evening is more than a mere occasion for merriment. It marks your entrance into high society. A polite smile or a courteous nod may be misconstrued as eagerness to accept a gentleman's advances. I'm not doubting the acuity of your discernment. However, accepting a stranger's hand during the ball is often enough to kindle idle tongues. I suspect even Lady Herlin neglected to caution you on this point. I wish for you to feel entirely at liberty to follow your own heart. Yet, I would also hope not to see you in trouble. To forbid your attendance would itself be but another restraint upon your liberty. Well then, have you another gentleman in view for the next dance? I happen to need to retrieve from the capital documents relating to the transfer of the manor. This should take about 4 or 5 days. It will be but a brief separation. Morley Manor will remain in its usual place. We'll be having afternoon tea at this table again before long.
Miss, a great many young men have inquired after you since the last ball. But none compare with Zayne. Is that right? After the engagement was annulled, he was worried you might be treated unfairly upon entering high society, so he pulled quite a few strings to smooth things over for you. I had not planned to vacation in Carrollton County. He had to insist thrice before I at last consented. Actions, my dear, are often more eloquent than words. But he has been holding his tongue for a good while now. I fear we shall have to resort to more extraordinary means.
Good morning, miss. Mostly nice. The sky was occasionally overcast. Yes, there were no issues at all. It was my intention to return early. That is because you have always managed to discern the rest for yourself. If that is the case, I shall endeavor to be a tad more loquacious moving forward. Do enlighten me. Oh? Stop. Miss, I believe we must clear up some matters between us. Pray allow me a moment. I beg your pardon. I have been too hasty. I always thought I ought to be more prudent in discussing such matters with you. Pray forgive me. Pray forgive me for coming here. I do not mean to press you for an answer. Yet if I were not to speak up now, I would risk losing the most precious opportunity of my life. I hastened to conclude my business and returned earlier than I had intended because I wish to renew our engagement. The weather has been very favorable on our first outing. I would rather sit beside you today. Consider it a reminder to a certain married lady. A hasty departure hardly accords with good manners. Will you not turn away from me this time? I am honored, my lady. I like how that's coming from a hunter who's always busy keeping Lincoln safe. I can only read a little so far. That's why I'm merely a medical consultant, not a translator. Oh? I seem to recall someone being desperate to leave at first. It was the opposite, actually. When I first saw you at the Ross's estate, I thought how happy it would be if we could cast aside rank, fortune, and every other distinction. And if this young lady might choose me entirely of her own accord.